Buongiorno. So, those who have been here since last year will know that this is a water trough of drama. The drama. This was the water trough that, because they're bolted down to the concrete and they don't just fit into like a wooden base like railway ties and stuff like what Straight Pipe Acres and BCP Trucking, those guys put together. Because we have them in the corrals here, we kind of need a little bit more substantial base. Plus, there is a pole coming right out of this one, so it's part of the wall, as you can tell, pipes and frames. So, yeah, so we couldn't move it. And if you go back, I can't even do like, go check that video. I can't do that. Sorry, I'm not that savvy. You know, those people that go like, yeah, click here. No, click there. No, click there. Sorry. So this one sprung a leak. Wherever there was heater elements underneath, the heater element either just cooking them, I don't know. They've been here for 20 years. These, what are you guys doing? Just, you know, they're old. So whatever the horseshoe heater elements were, it corroded through these bases. So I found some stainless steel I had kicking around, and I went and bought some stainless rods, and I learned how to stainless weld. You'll notice that there's caulking. Actually, this is epoxy. I used 2 different types of epoxy. I used the JB Weld epoxy, that's clear stuff. And then I had some sort of a sealant, other stuff that I used. Worked. It is still holding water. I just drained it. That's why there's no water in it right now, because we did have some animals in here. So it does still technically work. The only thing it doesn't technically work is if you look up in there, there is no elements. I never did put the elements back in because they were basically corroded right off. So what I did was I wired in a little space heater in there. So I just had it sitting, throwing warmth up against the base plate. And it worked. It worked. But today, yeah, check that out. Today it's like, I don't know, 13, 14 degrees. It's Halloween this weekend. We bought a new water trough last year in preparation to do this. Yeah, you can't get these ones anymore. It's these plastic ones. I think they're technically 100 head. I think. But they're still the 120 volt, because I know you get the big ones with the 240, and then you get the really big ones for 500 head. I don't know who would ever have one trough to do that many, but anyway, time to come out. While the weather's still nice, this one's going in. This one is going to get shelved. And like I said, it still works. So what will end up happening is, out there at the back, we already have a water trough back there. And then we'll get this one tidied up, get new tabs on to put the heater elements back on. And then these ones will serve for the bullpens that we're going to be building eventually. So, unhook this one, cut off the bolts because they're jiggered, and get her out of here, and then test fit this for the new lag bolts, which are... Did I not bring them over? Guys, you were supposed to remind me to bring those over. Dang it. Anyway. Let's get this apart. Let's get on. So, other trough is installed, working, and then I went around the bottom and the drainage pipe with some expandable foam spray, which is right there. And yes, I managed to get it on myself because I'm me. I don't know how. but that's the sort of the liquid stuff that comes out with the foam. I have no idea. So this is the other trough that is the same age as the one you can see that's getting kicked out. So it's got the same issue. I don't know if I covered this already. I'm jumping around timelines right now, so you've seen a video that was shot after the part you've already just seen working on that one. So I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing day to day anyway, but here we are. So, as you can see, where the heater elements, big gobber, where the heater elements are is all cracked out. I'm gonna see if I can lower you down here and show you just how bad. Yeah, you can see it's sort of warped and cracked, and it's leaking out pretty good, or pretty bad I should say. So what I have here is I have sticky aluminum tape. I'm not really sure what it's for. I think it might be like heat shielding exhaust pipes, like wrap. Really not sure, because it is actually aluminum metal that's made into a tape. So yeah, you peel the backing off and then you're left with sticky aluminum. So what I'm doing is I'm covering over the part where the heater element goes, and then I'll skin over the top of it with a whole bunch more. And then probably on top of all of that, once I've got about 3 layers on, I'm going to put Farmer's Friend, that red tuck tape, which is, as some people know, it's what you tape the outside of your house when you're putting the vapor barrier on, and the Tyvek outside wrap. Jeepers. The outside wrap. Yeah, you'll notice the styrofoam inside these don't last very long. I just fixed the one out at the corner where I screwed treated 2x6s onto the inside of these, because it stops the cows from doing that, which messes up your float. And plus it also helps insulate the box too, because the box sits up in minus 30 something. So it kind of helps, but mostly it stops them from crushing it. So I'm going to tape these up, do a few layers, and then wrap them up, and then I'll bring you back. Oh yeah, tractor's warming up. This is our, I don't know if you're allowed to say this, I might get cancelled for this. This is what they call an Indian summer. The weird part is, First Nations, Native people, they call each other Indians. So it's an Indian summer. There you go. It's supposed to be teens all weekend. So yeah, get the water troughs all done. These troughs over here are for the most part fine, just to put the wires on them. I might have already told you this. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to wire up power and a set of lights over there, and then I'm going to wire up power over there, and then a whole bunch of lights for that facility there. But back to this. Get on. And there you go. That was the bad one. So yeah, I ended up going with 3 layers of that aluminum tape, and then covered over with the tuck tape, because I figured 3 layers would keep what heat the elements underneath create, would keep that away from the tape, plus the water above keeps this side cooler, so somewhere in between they meet. So like I said, this is just a test. I'm pretty sure this wouldn't have worked with the other one, because the other one was pretty far gone, because I ended up cutting a patch of stainless steel I had and laying it over. Like, if you want to go back to the video, you could see it. Wasn't pretty, but it worked. It did last the rest of the season quite well. And like I said, we might keep it as a spare backup or whatever. But this seems to be doing what it's supposed to do. And if anyone asks, there should never be an opportunity where the animals are down licking at the bottom of the water bowl. If you keep the water levels up high enough, all they do is they tend to just soak at the surface. cows don't really like to put their nose into the water. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll bring you back. And welcome back to Piper Doug Makes Stuff. Odd stuff. And it's free, which Piper Doug really likes. Free is good. Freebie! So we have a whole bunch of these tires that came off our big old John Deere 8970 with the triples on. Yeah, talk about a pricey tire bill when you're changing out 12 tires at once. These were really bad for torque hop. And yeah, they looked like there was plenty of tread still left on them. But they were starting to get poked. These are actually the better ones. I think these are all the ones from the back, because I think we already cut up the front ones. So what we're doing, we're making tire feeders. So what we used to do, well, it was one of the other partners. They use a chainsaw, because using a grinder with a cutting blade on it or using a circular saw just made a lot of mess and a lot of smoke. I learned something, because I don't watch TV, I watch a lot of YouTube. And I like to watch these guys over in like Pakistan and places like that, where they make stuff by hand. They recycle stuff and they make stuff. Sometimes it's useful stuff, sometimes it's just stuff. But there's a bunch of guys, predominantly guys, that make stuff out of old tires. And yes, I'm not about to start a cottage industry, turning tractor tires into, I don't know, handbags or loofahs or something. But what I did learn from them was they cut the tires just with a knife. Very sharp knife, but with just a knife. And I've always been like, how? Until I noticed the secret. They wet the blade. Like they do like a couple of feet. You always put pressure on the rubber. Stop it. You always put pressure on the tire as you're cutting. And then you stop and you wet the blade every so often. And it cuts like butter. I did that in less than 5 minutes. And I didn't even break a sweat. So yeah, I've got two. I'm going to make these two for the 2-year-old heifers. And then I think I've got 2 more to make for the cows out in the field, because they seem to be not keeping up. Like I don't seem to be keeping up with enough silage out to them. And I don't want to put it out in the ground because they just end up walking on it. And I don't like wasting stuff. Remember, I told you, Piper Doug likes free stuff and doesn't like to waste stuff. So, yeah, but I can't really hold this and show you this, and yeah, it's blowing like a bugger and it's trying to rain. But yeah, so, one of these, yeah, just one of these. That's all it takes. And there you go, instant silage feeder. Giggity. What? Pay attention now. Ta-da! That easy.